Hello, gentlemen. My name is Ngafeeson, son of Dr. Madison and Claudia Ngafeeson. I'm so pleased and proud to present him today. My dad is a father who aspires to build his children to become twice the man that he is, a husband who loves and stands by his wife, a brother who believes in the potential of his family, and a mentor who loves and fulfills his dreams by seeing others fulfill theirs, and a true friend. Please join me in welcoming my father, your friend, brother, and mentor, Dr. Madison Ngafeeson.
Hello, leading ladies. My name is Ngafeeson. I am the daughter of Dr. and Mrs. Ngafeeson. I am blessed to share both of them with you here today. I introduce to you a mother who cares for her children and has wonderfully raised 3 of them. A wife who is understanding and has the biggest heart I know. A sister who will stand by your side no matter what. A professional who always strives to be the best. And a true friend. Please help me to welcome my mom and your sister and friend, Mrs. Claudia Ngafeeson.
Hello, everyone. My name is Madison Ngafeeson, President, Lead Missions International, and I am here on the set at the Leading Lady Conference with my dear wife. I call her my first lady, Claudia Ngafeeson. Claudia, welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. We are all happy to be with you here today.
So, in this very first session of today, I wanted us to just have a very relaxed setup and just talk to you as we would have talked to you sitting on a coffee table somewhere and just speak to you from our hearts. And the title of our discussion here will be just setting intentions. As you know, the theme of our Leading Lady Conference is building a legacy in challenging times. And we just want to be able to set the stage for all of the wonderful speakers that are going to be speaking to you today and tomorrow. By the way, the Leading Lady Conference is a place where we have phenomenal speakers, world-class speakers that shall be energizing you in more than one way. So, but when we wanted to start this session by just sharing with you our hearts, and then so that you can understand, where we are coming from. So, welcome to the Leading Lady Conference. Welcome to Transformation. Let me start with this story. When I was approaching 40 years of age, something notable happened in my life. I was going through a time of intense challenges. It was affecting my personal life. It was even affecting my professional life. And certainly, it was affecting my marital life. And right about this time, I would look at it and call it a time of really serious darkness in my life. I can't even think of any other moment in our lives as a couple that was as difficult at this particular moment in time. It happened that I had just moved over to a new city, Marquette, Michigan, and I left my dear wife and the family back in Texas as at that time. And I came over here, and it was just a very, very, very challenging moment. But all I know is that after a couple of nights in my basement, I took a decision that really changed my life forever. So as I was thinking about the challenges that we were going through, and I was thinking about what is it that would define my life for the next 40 years. Remember, I just said that I was approaching 40, and I was thinking about what the next 40 years would be for me should God allow me to be here. And on that fateful day, I came up with something that has really radically changed my life. I call it my legacy statement. I was considering what is it that when I leave this earth, what is it I wanted to be remembered for? I came up with 5 statements that summarize my life going forward. The first thing is that I wanted to be known as a husband who loved his wife just like Christ loved the church. I'm a man of faith. I'm a person of faith. So I wanted that my legacy will be tied to my faith that I hold so dearly. The second thing I came up with is that I wanted to be a father who trained up his children or raised his children in the way they should go. The third thing was that I wanted to be a professor. You know that I am a professor who taught more than information systems, but that actually taught life. The fourth thing is that I wanted to be a citizen who served his native land, Cameroon. So again, by now you also know that we are Cameroonians, and I am a Cameroonian. But lastly, I wanted to leave a legacy of a man who helped men and women around the world discover, pursue, and achieve their God-given purpose. Now, when I came up with this, it radically changed my life. Well, it's been 4 years later, we were able to start 2 organizations. We have been able to reach leaders in 12 countries and counting. We have met with presidents, prime ministers. We have met with senators, businessmen. We have had the privilege of going to the most underprivileged places and orphanages and minister to people in the slums, and yet to still also minister to people in authority. But everything for me started when I decided about what was going to be my legacy as a family man. What was going to be my legacy as a professional? What was going to be my legacy as a citizen? Everything changed at that point. So, one of the most respected leaders of all times, according to me, is the late Dr. Miles Monroe. He says this, that a leader without a successor is simply a failure. He reckons that, success in itself without a successor is actually plain failure. So let me ask you, are you a failure or are you a success? Well, you are a success if you are raising someone who will take over from you. You are a success if you are raising a successor, because there is no true success without a successor. Today we are inspired by the words of President John Quincy Adams. He was the 6th president of the United States, and he made a profound statement that we shall base our remarks on this opening session of the Leading Lady Conference by. So, President Adams said this. He said, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. A leader, by definition, is therefore someone who inspires others, who influences others in positive ways. A leader, by definition, according to President Adams, therefore, is someone who inspires others to dream, who inspires others to learn, who inspires others to do things, who inspires others to become. So I want to use this in our discussion here and to say that the kind of legacy that we want leading ladies like you, leading ladies that you are raising up to be, is number one, let it be a legacy of dreamers, leaving behind people that dream, leaving behind people that believe that there is more out there that they can attend to. Do you have a dream, I would want to ask? Do you inspire others to dream? When I think about dreams, I remember the man Joseph. in the scriptures, he had a dream. His dream was that one day, he would be a great man, and that the father and the mother, that they would bow to him. Even in his dreams, he even dreamt that his brothers will also bow to him. But obviously, his brothers were not impressed by that dream, so they threw him in the pit. They sold him out as a slave into Egypt. But before all of this happened, I remember a scene in the story where Joseph shows up in the hills because his brothers were shepherds, and therefore he shows up in the hills. And when they saw him coming, these are the exact words that his brothers said about him. They said in Genesis 20 or 37 verse 20, they said, "Come now, let us kill him and throw him into one of the pits. We can say that a vicious animal has devoured him. Then we shall see what becomes of his dreams." May I say that the reason that you are going through difficulties might just be because you have a dream. The reason that you are facing the challenges that you are facing now, may I say that it might just be because you have a dream. Because anytime you have a dream like Joseph, people will not want you. They would want to kill you. They would want to throw you in a pit. But one thing that I have learned from the dreamer Joseph is that dreams don't easily die. Because I saw him, he was thrown into a pit, but the pit could not drown his dream. He was taken out of the pit, but the pit could not overwhelm his dreams. He was sold as a slave into Egypt, but even slavery could not stop his dream. He was even thrown into prison in Egypt, but even the prison could not stop his dream. He rose up and finally became the prime minister of Egypt. And through him, he was able to save his entire tribe, his entire family, his entire nation from the bondage of, or from the difficulty of famine in that time and in that season. So I dare say that dreams are powerful. If you must leave a legacy of dreamers. Do you challenge your children to dream more? Do you challenge your friends, your fellow sisters, your fellow colleagues to be people that dream? Or do you try to stop them like Joseph's brothers? I also am reminded of another dreamer. He was called Martin Luther King Jr. You know his speech has been read several times, and people have put them on their walls, and people have put them into books, and it serves as a reminder of someone who had a dream. Martin Luther King Jr. dreamed that one day that people will be able, that we will be able to judge people not according to the color of their skin, but according to the content of their character. And I think that this is something wonderful. But you and me will have to keep the dream alive. Not only by dreaming ourselves, but by passing on to others the legacy of dreamers. Claudia, what do you have to say?
Yes, and so we'll continue on building a legacy. We want to set intentions today. So our second point here is, let us leave a legacy of learners. Abraham Lincoln says, "I don't think much of a man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday." I can say that I am wiser today than I was 5 years ago. I believe that learners are people who read, who are ready to learn at all times. Because there's a saying that says that if we stop learning, we start dying. I would say of myself, 5 years ago, I started reading books intentionally. Why? Because I wanted to be a learner at heart. I wanted to know more. I wanted to gain more knowledge for myself so that I could grow better. Apostle Paul says in 2 Timothy verse 15, says, study to show yourself and approve to God, a workman who need not to be ashamed. So we need to be learners at heart if we are going to build a legacy for ourselves. Because what we learn, that is what we're going to pass on to the people we want to leave our legacies to. Someone once asked, when is the last time you did something for the first time? You know, it is when you take that first step to do something for the first time, it will intrigue you to start learning about that thing, to want to do it more. I will tell you a little story about myself in this area. When I got married, I had to sacrifice my education to start up a family. And 10 years into our marriage, I restarted the journey to education. I had to go back to college. Today, I am in my 40s, 2 years away from a doctorate degree, and I'm still striving, and I'm still learning. Amidst fears, self-limiting beliefs, and self-doubt, I continue to be encouraged by the tribe of learners from my husband, my children, my friends, and my mentors. Yes, leading ladies, we can leave a legacy of learners. Madison?
The third thing I would like to say is that we have to leave a legacy of doers. Someone said that there are only 3 kinds of people in the world: those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who don't know what is happening. So permit me ask you, who of those kinds of people are you? I believe that we should belong to the tribe of make happeners. So I just invented a new word, make happeners. Those who make things happen. You know, this community of doers who not only believe in what they are called to do, but who do what they were truly called to do. I am reminded of a verse of scripture that says, we should not be only hearers, but be doers, so that we will be blessed in our deed. You know, I heard a story many years ago about a couple seminarians, and they were arguing and talking and discussing about what is the best version of the Bible. So one of them said it was the King James Version because of its originality, because of its poetry, and all of that. Another person gave another version. Another person said another thing. And so as they were talking, there was one noticeable seminarian who did not quite share his thoughts. So they turned to him and they said, but what is your own favorite version of the Bible? And so this gentleman said, my mother's version. So shocked, embarrassed, you know, these friends thought to themselves, well, how come this guy's mother did write a version of the Bible and we did not know? So they went ahead and said, so why is it that you love your mother's version of the Bible? And he said, and I quote, I like my mother's version because he translated it into life, and all who read it were transformed. You know, we want to leave a legacy of doers. People who don't only have high moral, moral ideals in their heads, but have high moral ideals and leave those high moral ideals in their lives. This is a generation of doers. Leaders are doers, not just sayers. Ralph Waldo Emerson, one of my favorites, said this. He says, your actions speak so loudly, I cannot hear what you are saying. We want to be leaders who say what we mean and mean what we say. we want to challenge you to leave a legacy of doers. Claudia?
Wow, Madison, you have been sharing some great, interesting points. Thank you. So we'll move to our fourth point, which says a legacy of becomers. To leave a legacy of becomers, you will have to grow and give others the gift of growth. You know, we don't only grow for ourselves, we grow so that we can grow others. In the process of growing others, you are also growing yourself. You will always hear us mention stories from the Bible because we're a faith-based organization. We was there to say even Jesus grew himself. The scripture says, and Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. We are primarily human beings and not human doings. We have to be in order to do. Right, Dr. Madison?
Yes.
We have to be human beings to be able to do the things that we ought to do. Someone once said, the greatest benefit of growth is not what you get from growing, but by who you become. So there is a power in becoming. You don't just want to grow yourself so that you can puff up and say, yes, I have all the knowledge. But all of that is to groom you to become somebody different in your generation. I want to let us know that, sometimes when we say these things, we can begin to think, I have to be some perfect human being. We are talking about leaders, building legacies, and you're thinking to yourself, then life has to be perfect if we have to become all of these things. But I want to let you know that life is not being perfect. We grow each day into the women we were created to be by listening and learning from others. And that is why we are here today, because we want to learn from other women, grow ourselves, and become the women we were born to be. Michelle Obama says, we become by being willing to know and hear others. So I encourage you today, as you grow, as you learn, let your end goal be to become the person that you were born to be. Madison?
So as we conclude today, and just these thoughts that we just wanted to throw on you, we want to say that legacy is when a leader is able to lead in their absence. Legacy is when you are no longer here, and yet what you believe in, what you aspired for, is lived through the lives of others. Legacy is when a leader's death is not an end, but it's a beginning, because he has people that will live through the ideals that they held. Legacy is a way that great men and women rule the world even when they are no longer here. So our challenge to you is, be a leader. Let your actions inspire others to dream more. Let your actions inspire others to learn more. Let your actions inspire others to do more. But more importantly, let your actions inspire others to be more or to become more. Use these 2 days that we have in front of us to be the 2 days of your becoming story. Start to dream of what the world can be like if you will step into the arena and just live out what you were born to live out. Think about how the world would be when you make up your mind to be that learner and learn everything that you can, that would equip you, that would energize you to become the leading lady that you should become. And what about this? That you start doing the things that you were born to do and the things that you were endowed with skills and talent to be able to do. But in all that you do, become everything that you were born to do. So we are really grateful that we can get to have a time like the Leading Lady Conference with all of the suite of speakers that we have from Cameroon, from the United Kingdom, from the United States of America, just to add value to you. So we want to say thank you for coming to the Leading Lady Conference. We are wishing you a tremendous conference. Enjoy the main sessions that will come your way. Enjoy the breakout sessions. Enjoy the panel discussions that we will be having. Ask questions when you need to. But in all that you do, keep growing. And this is what we want to say to you. Claudia and I are grateful, and we just wanted to say thank you for coming to this conference, and that we are glad to have you. Claudia, any last words for the people that are listening to us today?
I just want to say, ladies, we are in for an experience of a lifetime. I want you to sit tight and know that we have a full package for you. You don't want to be distracted for the next 2 days. Get your seats ready, get your books ready, get your pen, and pen down everything you need to know during these 2 days. And I guarantee you, your lives will never be the same again, because we are becoming all that God has ordained for us to be. So thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you.